Would you ever eat cookies made of cricket flour? Or tacos packed with roasted grasshoppers? Sounds yucky? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. In this video, you'll learn all about edible insects. And at last, you'll discover whether you should jump on this wagon or not. So let's dive straight into it. Many companies have started producing insect-based products like flour, brownies, protein bars, and a whole lot more. And people have added insects to their diet as well, 2 billion of them. You might think it's weird and yucky, but the practice of eating insects called entomophagy has been present for decades. In fact, before our ancestors started growing crops, they used to feed on various insects like bugs and worms. Unfortunately, when agriculture took off, they stopped eating bugs and developed an aversion to it, which is why we hate the idea of eating insects today. But there were a few people who continued that practice. Even today, there are parts of Asia, Africa, and Latin America where people consume insects as their staple food. But why? Let's take a look at some of the advantages. To begin with, insects contain up to 80% protein, which is your body's building block, and are also rich in fiber, minerals, and vitamins. What's shocking is that most edible insects contain the same amount of iron as beef, and can fulfill the daily allowance of nutrient consumption. Moreover, insects are also an efficient resource because they produce little to no greenhouse gases, needs less space and food compared to animals, making them beneficial for the environment. Furthermore, they can help us get rid of food challenges once and for all that comes with a growing population. Now, considering all this, it can be predicted that the edible insect market is going to grow massively in the coming years. But are there any downsides to it? Yes, there are, and they could be hazardous to your health. You see, insects have been consumed for decades, but it's still not known about how they affect our bodies, and the potential allergies one could experience. Secondly, many insects feed on rotten material that contains loads of bacteria, which can be harmful to us. To go on, some insects have anti-nutrient properties, meaning they affect our body's ability to absorb proteins. And lastly, how do you know that an insect is good or bad for you? Here's the thing. Certain kinds of insects contain harmful chemicals to keep predators away. For example, some kinds of beetles contain steroids that can cause infertility in humans. This poses a significant problem when you're eating insects, because that way you're just one insect away from serious health consequences. This brings me to the question I asked you at the beginning. Should you consume insects or not? Well, considering the health benefits, I think you should give it a try. And the more you consume it, the faster the yucky feeling will go away. Let me know in the comments section if you consider adding insects to your diet as a source of nutrition. But as always, thank you for watching.